Mark here for another great Wisdom and Knowledge 5 podcast episode. And I bring on David Weiss, Flat Earth Dave, and this is going to be a great conversation. Now, Dave, one thing that I love about you is that you bring up the fact that once people wake up to flat Earth, everything makes sense. Like the government's been lying, you name it.
Yeah, that I mean, I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole before I was a flat earther, and we're looking into every conspiracy. People say, "Hey, Dave, check this out, this shooting, this that," and I would check out anything. I'm like, okay, I got an open mind. Let me look, and I'd find out basically everything is fake, and then people started sending flat Earth to me, and I just banned them. I was just like, I'm not even going to watch your 1 minute video. You're too stupid. But getting to your point that I had a thing called Exposing the Big Three, talking about the thing that happened in New York in September, the thing that happened in Connecticut in December at the school that sounds like a beach, and the thing that happened at the marathon in Massachusetts.
Hmm.
I called it Exposing the Big Three because once you see the details on those three events, there's no denying it. And I figured that would wake people up. But people would see those, they'd wake up, and then they go, well, there's going to be different people in the administration, and they forget about it. And they go back to work, and they literally forget about it. But then after I was forced by Sophia Smallstorm to look into the flat Earth, and I tried to debunk it. When I look into stuff, I would look into it. Let me find out what's going on here. I looked into the flat Earth trying to disprove it and prove the globe. I went in with a made up mind already. I already made up
Hmm.
my mind. I was looking for the evidence to support my religious beliefs. And I say religious beliefs because the globe is literally a religion. And for 2 weeks, I tried and tried and tried. And at the end of that 2 weeks, I was like, holy crap, the earth is flat. And I didn't want to talk about it on our podcast because we had a really big podcast and nobody else believed in flat earth. And then I was like, I'm going
Hmm.
to lose all of our followers. And I realized I don't give a crap. This is the truth. I'm talking about it. And this is the one that sets you free from the matrix. Because once you unplug from the flat earth, there is no flat earther that doesn't think about flat earth from the second he wakes up every single day.
Hmm. Yeah. And another thing too, I think you'll agree with is that so many people who stood up to what happened in 2020, the mandates,
Yeah.
lockdowns, the
Yeah.
government regulations, a lot of those people are flat earthers.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, that's the funny thing. I just trying to plug in my monitor. Um, if we look here on my app, um, this is just a heat map of all of the people that have my app.
Yeah.
And it's funny is I would say 99% of these people are not human pincushions. And
Hmm.
they all are awake and aware. So it's pretty amazing. Because when you have the ability to see through a lie as big as this or as big as the 2020 event, you have the ability to see. There's a lot of people that just don't have the ability to see. The thing I say is you can lead a man to knowledge, but you can't make him think.
Hmm.
And there's certain people in this world that you have to realize will never wake up no matter what you show them. And I think that they're, you know, what an NPC is, right? Non-player character. And that
Exactly. Oh yeah.
I
Hmm.
believe there are non-player characters that are
Same
here
here.
for that reason, just
Hmm.
to fill in space and stuff. And, who knows who put them here, if they chose to be NPCs or if demonic forces put them here, or that's just the way this game works. I couldn't tell you, but it is clear that there are people without an inner dialogue in their head.
Hmm. Now, why is it that they would not want us to go beyond, Antarctica, or the North Pole? One thing I want to ask you that you might not have been asked before, do you think that there are, other beings on the other side of that, and maybe the controllers over there, maybe there's controllers over there saying to our so-called ruling class, you can't enter our area? Do you think it could be something like that?
Um, Absolutely. Like, if we live here, if this is our world
Hmm.
here, what's over here? This is all out of bounds. We're not allowed
Yep.
out here, right? And or the world could be set up like this. We could
Hmm.
be, we're here in the center section. Antarctica is this white ring. Out here is extra land, extra territory, extraterrestrials. From where?
Yeah.
Outer space. So to me, now here's the thing: we don't need to speculate, and this is speculation. What's
Hmm.
beyond where we're allowed to go? We don't need to speculate to prove the Earth is flat. It's clearly, measurably, observably, scientifically flat. But if I believe that there's more land. It could be within our
Same
dome.
here.
Maybe there's not a dome. I don't know. These are all
Hmm.
things that we'd have to speculate on. But there could be more land, just out here that we don't know about. I think there's more land in between Alaska and Russia. There's a video that
Mm.
featured that says there's like three time zones in between there, and we're supposed to believe that we're looking at the same piece of land. It's amazing. In the map section, I encourage anybody go to the frequently asked questions page and then go to maps right
Okay.
here. And in the map section, oops, hold on, fix that. In the map section, the top video right here is about what is in this place. Here's Russia, and
Hmm.
there's there's hidden land there, and it is fascinating.
Okay. I'll have to
Fascinating,
check that out on the
yeah,
app.
fascinating. So, and they're hiding everything. And so the reason that they restrict the North Pole and the South Antarctica is because if we had free access there, we'd find out we don't live on a globe, and they don't want,
Hmm.
because then we would see that we're in a cage, and they don't want us to know that we're in a cage.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And you look at things like flight patterns, if there was like a plane, it just doesn't it's not a spinning ball. When you look at patterns of airplanes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
well,
just so much proof out there.
well, I love when Globers bring up airplanes because airplanes actually prove the shape of the Earth. They absolutely
Hmm.
prove. Here's the SR-72 Blackbird, right? And so it's flying, right? And when it flies, it goes out at it's 6,000 miles to over here. So at 4,000 miles per hour, there's going to be a 4,000-mile drop.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's 1 mile per second drop.
Hmm.
I got that math right. It's no human could handle that G force. You'd be liquefied.
Exactly.
You'd be liquefied, right? And people talk about flight paths. Air pilots, when they're going in an airport, they actually have a there's actually a they calculate their rate of descent.
Hmm.
They figure out how many feet per mile they need to drop to get to the airport, but they never calculate in Earth curvature. From 125 miles out, where the last flight I was on, they started descending 125 miles out. They'd be 2 miles too high unless they calculated that curvature. And 125
Thanks.
miles, there's
Yeah.
2 miles of
Hmm.
drop. So again, airplane over the plane, not air globe,
Hmm.
not air curve. Airplanes fly straight and level over the Earth plane.
Hmm. Yeah, well, look at something like Amelia Earhart, who allegedly was supposed to go around the world and then she just disappeared.
Yeah, well, going around the world, east and west, is not exclusive to the globe.
Hmm.
It's not exclusive to the globe. It's most people, I mean, even beginning flat earthers, don't understand that. Going around the center, right at the center of the Earth, we have the North Pole, and here's Amelia Earhart's trip. Whether she went west or east, I forget, but these are all the places she stopped.
Hmm.
Just like your neighborhood. This is the town hall. This is your whole town, and
Sure.
you went around and looked at all the houses on the around your town, and you came
Hmm.
back started from. Is your town a sphere?
No. Yeah.
No, it's so
Hmm.
stupid.
It makes no sense. And then you look at things like you and I are awake to NASA, but why are all look who founded NASA to begin with, but why are all the astronauts that went up into space high level Freemasons? Why is that a prerequisite? or allegedly, I should say, went up into space,
Yeah, well,
right?
they're all Freemasons.
Yeah.
All of them are Freemasons, and they're all liars except maybe Don Pettit. He might believe that he went to space,
Okay.
and because he's so dumb. Think about this. You've seen Don Pettit talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
He sounds retarded, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not
Mm-hmm.
just he just sounds like he's got a total mental handicap. Now, think about like jet fighter pilots. You know, these guys are top of the line, in shape, mathematics, super sharp, super smart, in shape. You know, everything. Astronauts, you think would be one step above that. There was four
Mm-hmm.
thousand applicants for when they were hiring that one more astronaut. 4,000 applicants allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
And they hired Don Pettit.
Yeah, makes no sense. And
It
I
makes no
actually have
sense.
a friend who's a professional photographer who's worked with everyone under the sun, whether it be musicians, politicians, you name it. And he can vouch that all these astronauts, he's worked with a lot of the astronauts, photo shooting, that they are, Freemasons for sure. So,
Yeah.
hmm
So I mean, it's so stupid. And these are the early space pioneers that NASA was founded on. Ronald Hubbard, science from Scientology, Walt
yep.
Disney, everyone knows who he is. Werner von Braun, a Nazi that literally ran NASA. Jack
hmm
Parsons, an occultist, and Aleister Crowley, probably the most wicked man in the world. You know, and then they show us stuff like this. These guys come back from space in their
Yeah.
spacesuits, but they need blankets on them.
Yes.
Suits
Thank
can
you.
handle a 500-degree swing in temperature, but they need a blanket, in the middle of a field. It's like what people believe is it's incredible. You just show
hmm
people, look, a bunch of people, astronauts in a chair wearing, like they believe that this really happened.
hmm
It's gathering happened. Yeah, they took a bus out to the field. They set up the cameras, and you know,
hmm
and that's it.
Yeah. And you look at other things like, and you've talked about this before, is look at the Challenger, uh, and then you look at the people from the Challenger, and people are out there, who are from the Challenger that are not professors, and a couple of them are still going under the same name, right?
Yeah, a whole bunch of them. The Challenger astronauts. Um, there's some stuff going on right now that I can't speak about that
Sure.
they're going to show some more proof of that. Let's just say,
hmm
and it's it's amazing. When you look at it, it's literally absolutely mind blowing. But the problem is, people are generally good people, and it's hard for them to um, understand deception in deception this big.
hmm
Right, here's the challenger. Here the six of the seven have been identified, right? And they're going by
Yeah.
the same name. Everything's the same. They claim that lots of them had twins, but there's no birth records of any of them having twins.
hmm
And when I think it was Krista McCauley, what was it? Krista McCauley that was approached. Who was it?
I think it
I think,
was.
yeah, yeah. And she was approached as a professor, and there what's that some questions? She literally ran away. She freaked out and ran away.
Sure.
Right?
hmm
There's really no explanation for that.
No,
The,
it
the
doesn't make any
globalists
sense.
go, what about this guy? You didn't find him? Well, what if he died? What if he
hmm
just like died, had a heart attack or whatever? What are they gonna? That's why we haven't found him yet, or maybe we just haven't found him yet.
Exactly.
Maybe he's living on one of those little islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, like Kiribati. You
Oh
know,
yeah, for sure. Now, what do you think about the recent, Katy Perry, aka Space, going up to space, and then you see her with the butterfly, which represents Project Monarch.
yeah, and she's holding it over one eye too,
Oh yeah, it's so
right?
obvious.
Yeah, they love putting everything right in our face.
hmm
This is them floating in space. Now, imagine this. Imagine this. So watch this. So edit, ready? Edit, edit. That's the longest clip. Edit. Now look. Oh, look at me. Look at my Daisy. She's staring into the camera. And that was another edit, another edit. Right? We got 35 seconds with 12 edits.
hmm
Okay. Right. Now, let me ask a question. They take us up on a C-130 plane at like 60,000 feet. Me, you, and three of our friends are in the back of a big van,
Mm-hmm.
and in the van there's 5 seats. They throw the C-130 out of the back of the airplane. Could we all hang out, sing a little chant, and then find our seatbelts again as we're free falling towards Earth?
No. Mm-hmm.
No, we'd be throwing up. We'd be crapping ourselves. We'd be plastered against the ceiling. We wouldn't know what to.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't. We would all. We'd short circuit. And meanwhile, there's a door handle in there because you open
Exactly.
the door. Like
Mm-hmm.
if somebody free, like in a situation like that, somebody might actually open the door. Like get me
Mm-hmm.
out of here. Like not knowing whatever. And people just want to believe it. No helmets. No nothing. No.
No.
Right. What is keeping the air pressure in there? Where's the
Mm-hmm.
mechanicals for the air pressure?
Thank
Right.
you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you saw in there, they said, look at the moon. The moon was over Australia at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's no way they would have seen the moon, especially that high above the horizon. There's the
Mm-hmm.
moon right
Oh
there.
yeah. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Um, so it's just mind blowing how people just believe any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
good.
Well, now, what do you think that the moon actually is? Natural source of light? Dive into what you're thinking of what the moon is.
You got me, man. Let's just talk
I'm
about
with
some of
you.
the things that the moon does. It is a light. It's a cold light. If you take out a full moon, take out a magnifying glass and focus that light, it's colder, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it can't be reflected light. And I've never seen light reflect off of a dusty, dirty ball, travel a quarter of a million miles, and I'd be able to read a book by it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's a light. It syncs up with women's birth cycles, right? That doesn't sound like a rock floating in space.
No.
Personally, I think the moon is an integral part in the delivery and removal of souls on Earth. That's just
Mm-hmm.
me. I can't prove it. There's lots of ancient stories or information about that, but that's what I think. And so basically, everything they tell us about cosmology about the moon is absolute and total nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And what about things like water? Do you believe that there's water below and water above also?
So if you've looked into primary water, have you looked into primarywater.org? Um, there is an infinite amount of water below us, an
Mm-hmm.
infinite amount. Gaddafi, remember Gaddafi, Muammar Gaddafi?
Oh yeah.
We were all told that he is a terrorist, he's going to blow up America. He did a speech in the UN in the 70s, I think, and he was very angry. And he's speaking in Libyan, and is it called Libyan? Whatever the language,
Libya, I think. Yeah.
whatever language. So he was speaking, and the newscasters just played clips of it, and they're like, "This is a very evil man, terrorist, this and that." If you got to go find the translation of his speech, he's basically saying, he goes, the in the future, the United Nations is going to try to depopulate the world with turning people into human pincushions, and they're just everything that's happening now. He was
Mm-hmm.
screaming about back then,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And they
Mm-hmm.
made him out to be a terrorist. He was looking for oil, drilling for oil, and he hit an ocean of pristine ancient water below the desert, an endless ocean. And so
Mm-hmm.
he built what's called the Great Man-Made River. Are you familiar with it?
Sounds, yeah, somewhat familiar with
Well,
it.
most people don't even know about it, and so for 40 years he built aqueduct system. Let me say, and he built an aqueduct system where he was shipping water all across. Yeah, right here. This is one of the videos right here. Um, if you just search on the app, Great Man-Made River,
Okay.
or Muammar Gaddafi, I have 2 videos I made on him, and he spent 40 years piping water through the all across Africa. Biggest infrastructure, what's the word I'm looking for? Aqua par, just space on the
Mm-hmm.
world. Biggest water project
Mm-hmm.
in all of history for 40 years. And any family that wanted to become farmers, they had to be organic farmers. He gave them land, cattle, seeds, and water and a barn, you know. And so these organic farms were popping up all over Africa, and Africa was becoming self-sustained. And when he was almost finished with it in Aquifer project,
Okay.
um, and when he was almost done with it, the United Nations, run by the Clintons and Obamas, blew it up with depleted uranium bomb.
Gee,
Literally the greatest
not
uh,
surprised.
attack on humanity, and nobody even knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
Man-made river. Muammar Gaddafi, we're told, is one of the most evil men in the world, and he was literally probably one of the best leaders of all time. He would drive through the streets, standing up out of his sunroof, waving to people. He'd get out and he'd walk through the crowds and hug people, and everyone says, "Oh, that's because he would chop their heads off if they didn't get down on their knees to him." No, they loved him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back when Obama was in office here, I had to go to New York City, and I go to get on the highway 95, and there's cops blocking it. So I go to the next exit, the cops blocking it. I go to the next exit, the cops are blocking it. And I go to the cops, I go, "What's going on?" They're like, "Oh, Obama's coming through, and no one's
Oh,
allowed to get on the
jeez.
highway." And then so I
Please.
waited, and his entourage went through with 12 decoy cars. Who's the terrorist? The guy that
Mm-hmm.
walked through his people, hugging them. His parents were living in a tent, and he vowed to give everyone a home before he gave his parents a home. He took Libya from the lowest, uh, poorest country in Africa, most uneducated, to one of the highest
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
while he was there. And what happened to him is the biggest tragedy in all of our history.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely amazing. He gas was 14 cents a gallon. All the profits from the gas went to the people, not to the corporations.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Electricity was free. School, college, graduate school, free. Right? If you wanted to study something they didn't teach there, they would send you abroad. Medical, free. If you
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get the operation done there, they would send you to another country to get it done. People that got married got $50,000 towards a house. Any car you wanted, whether it was a Ferrari or a Honda, got
Mm-hmm.
paid for 50% by the government. Right. And,
Incredible.
and and we're told that, this is the most evil leader ever. It, it
Mm-hmm.
it brings tears to my eyes, even just thinking about what he did. Well, just go on the app, my Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
Sure.
Search Muammar Gaddafi. There's two videos there. One of them is like 15 minutes. The other one's even shorter. And then tell me what you think.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you have people like our government funding wars, not taking care of the people. It's just, pushing GMO foods, vaccines, you name it. Chemtrails, another big thing over where I am and everywhere in the US. We're getting sprayed left and right. And
Where are
then
you? What time
I'm
zone?
in Wilmington, North Carolina. So I'm
Okay,
right
yeah,
on the coast.
I'm
Yeah.
in Connecticut here. It's unbelievable. It's
Hmm.
more 80% of the days are completely overcast with chemtrails.
Yep.
It's incredible. It's just incredible.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I've heard you talk before too that it's good that you're on the same page as me because you're like it's good that they're speaking and saying, hey, it's going to be banned in this state and that state. But I myself, as well as I've seen you say the same thing. It's good that they're talking about that, but I don't see anything being done. It's not going to be done.
Yeah, there's supposedly like 15 states that are trying to outlaw it. I think it's just a song at Dog and Pony Show. That RFK said, he was asked, and it looked organic. I don't think it was organic the way it was asked. And he said, "Well, it's not us. It's not my department that's doing it. And he mentioned DARPA. That was good. But then
Hmm.
he goes, it looks like it's in the fuel. So anyone new to the topic is like, oh, it's just the pollution from the airplanes. That's
Yeah.
the problem. And
Hmm.
so they're going to deal with it. They don't realize that there's whatever these planes are. I don't even know if they're all planes that are doing it. They're dumping millions and millions of pounds of material into the sky on purpose. And
Hmm.
people just don't want to believe that. I've been talking about that for almost 3 decades now. And, now they admit it that it's real, but they still are subverting it where people should be in a revolution based on this. It should be incredible. And it's getting worse. It's not getting better.
No, and then you have people who are like against the chemtrails, like us, but then they're like, yeah, but we don't need to do anything. We don't need to lift a finger because it's banned in Tennessee now. Banned.
It's
It's
not banned in Tennessee. It's
exactly.
go look up. Go look up right now. You'll see
Oh
them.
yeah.
They're
Hmm.
everywhere. Right.
Yeah, it's such a shame, but there are more and more people like us who are, waking up to all these truths. I think.
Yeah, 100%. Um, I don't. I think there might be somebody talking about that. I'm going to be speaking at internationaltruthexpo.com in November in Arizona, and
Oh wow.
yeah, Dr. Andy Kaufman's going to be there. I'm
Yeah.
going to be there. Um, Ace Baker. Do you know who Ace Baker is? Nobody knows who Ace Baker is.
It
Ace
sounds
Baker,
familiar though.
he's a 9/11 guy that did,
Okay.
it's called the Great American Psy He did an 8-part series on 9/11.
All right.
He's amazing. I actually thought he was dead, but I'm so happy that he's going to be there. It's absolutely amazing. If anyone doesn't know who Ace Baker is and you're awake to 9/11, go to stoplookthink.com. And at the top, it'll say 9/11. And there's two categories. There's like all information and then Ace Baker. Click the
Okay.
Ace Baker and watch his videos there. Right. If you only want to watch one of them, pick the one that says the key. Right. And
Okay.
that's what you need to know about 9/11 and no planes
Hmm.
and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Now, what city is that in Arizona?
It,
Because I used to live in Phoenix, so I have a
yeah,
lot of
it's
friends over there.
you know what? Just go to internationaltruthexpo.com and check it out. I don't know Arizona's topography that well, but I can
Yeah.
tell you no matter what airport you go to, you're not close. Okay,
No.
it's in the middle of
Okay.
nowhere. It's in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere. It's like 2 hours from any airport.
Okay.
So, but a big deal. It is what it is. Um,
Yeah.
and
Good to know.
it looks like it's going to turn out to be a pretty cool and large event. So
Hmm.
it we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Now, what do you think about this? When do you think that this is a question for you? When do you think the Project Blue Beam, the alien
Project Bluebeam.
invasion, they're going to
I think it's
release
happening
that?
right now. I'm going to
No.
say like so here's how fast conspiracies have gone. Years
Hmm.
ago, conspiracy theorists said there's aliens.
Yep.
Now everyone goes there's aliens and the conspiracy researchers are going no, they're fooling you. It's Project
Hmm.
Bluebeam. It's nonsense. They're coming from the outer lands. It's not aliens from outer space. So we've grown, but the public has just gotten worse. The NPCs, if you will. But this is the way I think that the when they do the fake alien invasion, if they did it like a couple years ago, everyone would be like, I don't believe it.
Hmm.
Right. Also, if they did it and people believed it, it might be like War of the Worlds. People freak out. People
Oh, good
people
point.
absolutely freak out. So what they did now, they have these drones and there's drones and that
Hmm.
don't worry about the drones. We don't know what they are, but don't worry about them. That's the weirdest thing ever. And then
Yeah.
orbs mixed in with the drones now. And so now, like, you can mention, hey, there was a drone over your neighborhood, and people like, or an orb, people like, oh yeah, they're everywhere now, and no one cares anymore. People have gotten
Hmm.
normalized to it. So when they do the fake alien invasion, people will be like, whoa, that's crazy. But I don't need to freak out because they don't seem to be hostile. Like they've
Hmm.
been everywhere. And so I think it's like a controlled, like people are used to it now. So everyone will be like, yeah, that's what that was. And everyone will pay attention. People won't freak out and they'll obey whatever the government says. I think that's what they're trying. So when is that going to
Of
happen?
course.
Nobody
Hmm.
knows when it's going to happen, but maybe Thursday.
There you go. Geez. Well, they also talk about, and they've been talking about it for a long time, about the power grid going down, and I think that will eventually happen, don't you?
Well, that's the depopulation event of depopulation events. So the power grid goes
Hmm.
on for a year, 90% of the population will perish.
Yeah,
Because
without
nobody
the internet too, people can't function
yeah,
because
wait, how
they're
about
so
this?
obsessed with it.
Shut down Facebook for 2 weeks and
There we go.
20% of the population will perish.
Oh, yeah, you're right though. That's the thing in this
um,
society. You are right on point.
yeah. People don't know how to do anything. People can't even get around their own towns anymore without GPS because
No.
their brains have become soft, and they're not actually using them to do anything. Uh,
Hmm.
but will they do it? I don't know if they can do it without us allowing them to. It's kind of weird to say that, but we have free will. We
Hmm.
have they're not allowed to break our free will. But if they
No.
get us to a point, you know, don't get me wrong. Maybe they can just pull a friggin' boom switch and the power goes out and then we have to fix it and that's going to cause mayhem. That could very well happen, but I don't think they want to do that because if they do that, they lose control also, right?
Okay.
After that, they lose control. But you know, thinning the population down to 500 million like they want or less,
Hmm.
um, is a lot easier to control people that are fragmented and just struggling to survive, right? But if you have a lot of time and ability to communicate like we are right
Hmm.
now, like if we didn't have the internet, I would never know who you were. We
No, not at
never know each
all.
other,
Hmm.
right? And right now we're talking like we're in the same room, and we're talking to people in Japan and India and everywhere.
Yeah, Australia. Yeah, you
Yeah,
name it.
people instantly. So, it's this this technology that they use to control us. We can also use it against them. Our phones they use to track us, but we can use it against them.
Yep.
They created Bitcoin to literally. I think they created Bitcoin as another control mechanism, but we could create Monero and other privacy coins, which we can use against them. And
Hmm.
when people start, understanding what's going on, there are no problems in this world. There's only situations and solutions.
Thank
Really,
you. Hmm.
we can overcome everything, and it's all how you think.
Hmm. Oh
It's all how
yeah.
you think. People's like, oh, that's very new age. You say, I gotta feed my family and I gotta go to work, and I'm living paycheck to paycheck. That's your vibration. That's what you
It
do.
is.
That
Hmm.
is that is what you've created.
Hmm.
And people don't want to face that. People don't want to face that. Think about this. There's people that are paycheck to paycheck their whole life, and somehow they get through their whole life. There's people that make $100 million, and then they're broke. They're in debt $50 million.
Hmm.
Imagine if a paycheck to paycheck person was in debt $50 million. They just kill themselves. But the guy that was in debt $50 million, all of a sudden he makes another 100 million again,
Hmm.
right? So that's his vibration, right?
Yep.
The whole thing is how you operate in this world, how you connect. Your thoughts create your reality. We're connected to everything, but
Hands down. Hmm.
they want us just lost in our phones and and AI now is literally softening us more. No, but again, we can use AI against them. For example, have you seen do you have my app?
I do. Yeah.
All right. So I just added a new feature to the app, which
Okay.
if you all you gotta do is update your app, is right here. It's flashcards, right?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
and so you open up these flashcards and you can just swipe from card to card. There's almost 220 flat Earth proofs in here,
Oh, nice. Okay.
and they're all amazing. And by the way, AI did help me design these. So because I'm not a designer, so again, without AI, I couldn't have made this.
Hmm.
These are all proofs, and I'm going to be adding a search button. There'll be a search button right up here.
Oh, nice.
But I'm just trying to get to one that has a info. So I'll be at. Oh, this one has info like circumnavigation. So the info showed up, so I can click it, and up pops up a video on circumnavigation.
Oh, nice.
And
Hmm.
so you read the card, you can listen to the video, and then you know what? I want to share this. I want to share this with somebody. I can just hit the share button and email it, text it, airdrop it,
Oh, yes. Okay.
and so you'll be able to have stuff. When someone goes, well, what else circumnavigation? You can just search circumnavigation, come up with this card, hit share, bam,
Hmm.
and you send them the card. How good is
There you
that?
go. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Unreal. And
yep.
I take it you're somebody who t also because I was the same way when they have like these solar eclipses and stuff, they say, don't stare at the sun, don't stare, or don't stare at it, don't stare at it. You have to wear these 3D glasses. No, I went out there and stared at it. I had, friends who have major accounts that are truthers explaining that that it's all, hogwash that you're not supposed to watch this eclipse and stare at it with the naked eye. It's incredible.
Yeah. So if knowing what we know about the government,
Hmm.
why are they giving out free glasses to protect you from going blind?
Thank
Is look
you.
at the eclipse, you go blind. If that was the case, well, all the animals would be blind, and there would be a million blind people after every eclipse because
Hmm.
who doesn't look at who? There's so many people that don't. I filmed this eclipse. This is a solar eclipse. Now, do you see the moon? No, you don't. This is the actual eclipse. You don't see the moon. You just see missing sun,
Mm-hmm.
right? Have you seen this? Have I shown? Have you watched this? This
No,
is
I don't think I
this
have. Okay.
this is how no one has ever seen the moon approach the sun, eclipse the sun,
Mm-hmm.
or exit the face of the sun. They just see what I call missing sun.
Ah, yeah.
Now, this is a paper towel, and I have a light shining a circle onto the paper towel, and I have a Snapple bottle cap eclipsing it.
Okay.
So I'm creating the same thing here. Can you see the bottle cap?
No, you really
No,
can't.
no, you can't at all. You just see
Mm-hmm.
sky. Paper towel is the sky.
Yep.
So here's an eclipse that was filmed. Now, this is a lens flare.
Mm-hmm.
This is not moving with the camera. It's locked to the sun. You see how it's
Ah.
locked? So
Mm-hmm.
what is this? Now, this is like an 85% eclipse right now, and this is 85% eclipse. It's just so bright it's blowing out the camera lens. But if
Mm-hmm.
you put a filter over it, you would see that it's the same amount eclipsed as the lens flare and whatever this is. And I say, I think that's the projector. What do I
Ah, okay.
so I think that the sun is being projected into our reality. So now you don't see the cap and I'm moving it. You don't see it, just like we never see the moon exit the sun. So right here, here is I have a light in this tube projecting onto the paper towel sky. And I
Mm-hmm.
have the bottle cap you can see coming in, eclipsing it. And you see the eclipse here,
Mm-hmm.
right? You see it?
Yeah.
Right. So this is the source of the projection. This is the sun that we see.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I said, wait a minute. What if the sky is a little more transparent? Right. So we don't see the source through here. So I said, what if the sky is a little more transparent? And I did it with a paper towel. Here is the source behind the paper towel getting eclipsed.
Mm.
Here's the sun
Yeah.
that we see. This is the source behind the paper towel. And when I compare it to the actual eclipse, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's the
Incredible.
same thing. It's the same thing. Now, is that what's happening? I'd put money on it, but can't prove it. But I can't find a better explanation.
No, that seems very valid. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And sometimes when we had those fires, suspicious fires, and the whole sky was smoky, so many people saw another sun beyond the sun, not during an eclipse.
mm.
The reason you don't see the source sun because the sun's so bright you can never see it. But during an
Mm-hmm.
eclipse or during a smoky fire, or sometimes when even the chemtrails help us, you can see the source behind it when the conditions are just right. You can see that projector coming through because the sun isn't so bright. You put on a solar filter, you won't be able to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not bright enough to break through the solar filter. So that's why they're like, put on these glasses. We don't want you to see what's up there. So
Yep.
that's what I think is going on. I think that the sun that we see is a projection of the source sun. Where is that
Mm-hmm.
source sun? Is it in the firmament? Is it behind the firmament? Is it in another layer? Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I'm with you on that for
If
sure.
anybody's looking for that video, you just go to the frequently asked questions question mark section and clip eclipses, and
Okay.
there's a ton of videos there and a couple of versions of that.
Yeah. And I'll be sure to put the link to your website, which will get the
Yeah,
where you can get the app in the description of the episode, so for
yeah.
sure. But the bottom line is once you've woken up to the flat Earth, everything else makes sense. You know what they're doing to you.
Well, that's the thing is once you wake up to flat Earth, you never can put it down. Now,
Hmm.
there's all the Globers out there that just lie and make up straw man and gaslight us. Their meme out there now is there's a mass exodus from flat Earth. In the last 3 years or
Hmm.
5 years, six people have allegedly left flat Earth. Six
Oh
people,
yeah, mass exodus,
all under,
please.
six,
Hmm.
right? All under very suspicious circumstances. There's 50 to 100 people a day joining my app, and my app
Hmm.
represents 1% of the flat earthers out there.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So, and
And,
when did
wait,
you wake up to this, by the way?
Yeah, this was in 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014.
Okay.
2014.
Hmm.
Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole podcast out of New York City. It was going really well, huge. We were just looking at everything, and for the last year of the 3 years, I started bringing up flat Earth on every show, and finally it kind of blew up because my co-host couldn't handle it, and 3 years we just burned out, and
Hmm.
I started the Flat Earth podcast at that point, and because there was no podcast on flat Earth, and myself.
No. Hmm.
A guy named Curious Jay started the Flat Earth podcast, and that went viral. Also, it was good. It's still out there. We're allegedly still doing it, but we do like one episode a year.
Okay.
but
Hmm.
start listening if you're new to Flat Earth and you like podcasts, audio stuff, or when you're traveling, whatever. Just start with episode 1. You can find it on my website. Scroll to the very bottom. There it is, or just go to any podcast platform and search the Flat Earth podcast. It'll come right up. And it's still super relevant today. Funny, enjoyable, informational, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming on as a guest, Dave. We need more people like yourself and I, just, not only exposing the truth, but we are two guys who really care about humanity and really want the best for everyone, you know?
Yeah, you'll see. When you if you search flat Earth, you're going to get all the troll videos. You can get all nonsense. If you find my videos, you're going to see troll comments on there going, Taylor Grifter, his app
Hmm.
is, blah, blah, blah. They did hack into my app in October, and I had to do a big security update, which I did. But they said that your personal data got leaked. Well, let me tell you what your personal data is. In the app,
Hmm.
you don't have to verify your identity. You can put any fake information you want. And the only information that you put in there is the information that you want to share with all of
Hmm.
the other users. Okay. So if you want all the people's information, just subscribe to the app, and you can do it if you click the profile icon right here, right?
Hmm.
So here's all of my information, right? This is my profile. It'll load for a second.
No.
Oh, there it is. And so here's my profile.
Yeah.
And here's people I'm friends with. Here's some posts I made, and people are using this to find other people around them. If you click the heart icon, let me just flip over here. The heart icon is a dating, right? Put in your birth year. I put mine in as 1 year old because I'm not on here. I just use it
Hmm.
for testing. I select a date range and I say search, and I select the radius. I say, okay, people within 100 miles or
Oh,
500 miles
nice.
or 1,000
Hmm.
miles, whatever, depending on how far you're willing to look. And then you can just swipe between people's profiles,
Oh, nice.
and
I'm
you
gonna
can
check that
message
out.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can send a message. You can just start chatting with the person, and hey, we're in the same town. You want to meet for a cup of coffee or
This
whatever.
is great. Yeah. And is this all free once you have the app, or
So
is there a charge for that one?
the app is a one time price of $3. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the app's a one time price of $3. There's premium features. Let me tell you what the premium features are. There's the dating app
Hmm.
is premium. The friend finder, you get that, but you can't send messages on the friend finder.
Okay.
You can receive messages.
Yeah.
There's a meetup maker. The meetup maker is in the top right corner here. You just click meetup. Oops, like that. And on here, you could say meetups within 500 miles. Let's see. There's just one right now, right? So here's a meetup that's this is actually happening this weekend, May 18th,
Nice.
right near me. And I'm actually gonna try to go to this one. So the meetup maker is you can see all the meetups, but you can't list your own meetups unless you're a subscriber,
Hmm.
right? And one important thing for anyone that has the app, go to your alert me section and put in whatever distance you want and your email address. And then anytime someone sets up a meetup within your radius, you'll get an email notification
Notification.
so
Okay.
you don't miss it.
Hmm.
And so the top end of whoops, hold on, I'm back. Where'd I go? Here I am. So that's to be able to list meetups, you have to be a subscriber. And what else is there on there? Oh, to use the flashcards, which is brand new as of today or yesterday.
Okay.
Um, you have to be a subscriber. So the subscription, ready,
Hmm.
including dating, right? By the way, Match.com is like $40 a month. and
Yeah,
it'll
it's not well, even like Hinge and Bumble. Hinge is 29.99 a week.
okay. So every single blue dot on this map,
Hmm.
you have more in common with them than any dating site
Exactly.
will
Thank
ever
you.
put you up, because all
Hmm.
of these people are not human pincushions. They're awake and aware. So and the app subscription is $11 a year. Okay,
Oh, okay, yeah.
$11 a year. It includes all premium features, current and all future.
Okay.
Anything I add to the app in the future, if it's a premium, it's included. You never have to pay anything more. And just so people know, if you click the friend finder, the middle button right here, the middle button, mine's
Okay.
looks different because this is how many referrals that you have.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay.
whenever you're talking to somebody about flat Earth and you're showing them a picture or an image or something, that you show them the app, every single person's going to go that's interested in flat Earth go, where do I get that app? And you tell them where to get the app. And
Hmm.
so here, this will be a random number. Click the pencil and make it anything up to 7 characters. You can just make yours Mark. Mark might be available, like or Mark 1 or whatever you want, something
Sure.
that you can easily remember. And just say, hey, when you download the app, the first thing it's going to ask you is, do you have a referral code? It's like yes or no code, and then
Yeah, I know that. Okay.
so you just type in Mark and boom, you get 1 point.
Okay.
11 points you can trade in for a free subscription. But you also, if you put in a crypto address here, if you put in a wallet address,
Hmm.
you get Million Dome cryptocurrency
Okay.
free for free.
Hmm.
You're not a crypto person, perfect. This will
Yeah.
teach you how to operate a wallet, and you can play with it. And if you lose it all, you lost nothing.
Hmm.
Better. And a million Dome coins is worth a few dollars right now, right? It comes for
Yeah.
free. There's no risk. So that's what I tell people. It's literally teaching people how to use crypto. Um, so check that out, and don't forget to give people your referral your your referral code, and that way you can get a free subscription. So I even make it cheaper than $11 a year. Not $11 a
Hmm.
month. It's $11 a year.
Yeah, that's
Right.
incredibly
And
low.
and
Hmm.
depending on how big your phone is, remember there's more buttons for more things,
Hmm.
more features. And if you don't know what something does, you long press it, and up will come the explanation of what it does.
Okay. Oh,
Right?
good. Hmm.
Yes. And just one other thing, if I'm going to click that. That's images. Let's say someone says, is the moon landing real? You could I'll type in the picture of the LEM. I just typed in LEM, and I say, yeah, do you believe that two astronauts in a car fit in this paper mache?
Hmm.
Right. This is a spaceship made out
Yeah.
of rods and tinfoil. Right. You can pull up anything. All the images are there. And again, you can select up to 5 images and then share them. And click the share button and you can send them to whoever.
Hmm.
So a great way to share information, teach others um, about stuff.
Yeah, incredible. Well, I really appreciate this, Dave. It was an incredible conversation, and thanks for all that you do, you know?
All right, Mark. Appreciate it. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
The Flat Earth Clock app has a new feature that will be a game changer. Flat Earth proof flashcards are here. Over 200 proofs destroying the globe. Swipe to go to the next card or click the shuffle icon to go to a random card. If you see an info icon on the top, click it to get more information on that specific flat Earth proof. Click the back button to go back to a previous card at any time. The more info icon could be a website, a playlist, a book, or a video. Use the share icon to share cards with others via text, email, airdrop, or any other sharing modality. Update your Flat Earth Clock app today and start increasing your Flat Earth knowledge and sharing it with others.
Hey, everyone. If you enjoyed this interview, please help support my work and help wake up others by referring or gifting the app to at least one person today. By doing that, you're going to help wake people up and help me to continue doing other interviews like this. With the censorship out there that's going on, it's very difficult to find relevant information. And the app, as you know, brings people to the truthful information of our world. So help support my work, help support your efforts in waking up friends, family, and strangers. Gift them the app or just recommend the app. And let's make 2025 the year Flat Earth breaks free. Check the links below for information on how to gift the app or just refer the app to others and use your referral code to earn Dome cryptocurrency and a free subscription. Thanks.